Welcome to Right on the Mark with your host, Mark Young. Today we're going to be talking about living in New York. My extra special guest today is my sister-in-law, Kris. Say hello, Kris.
Hello.
Hello. Well, welcome to the show. I'm glad you got a chance to stop in and talk.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here.
Absolutely.
Your guest.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. So the name of the topic today is living in New York, and I know you have a lot of experiences with New York. So we'll try to touch on some of the stuff that you remember because it's been a while. It's been a while since you lived in New York, but
over 30 years, Mark.
Wow, 30. Well, that deserves a strum right there. 30 years says it all.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I'm giving my age away.
Yeah, wow. So I know you went to school there and you started out. So how did all that begin?
Well, I broke it to my parents that I wanted to move to New York City to attend the Fashion Institute of Technology. And luckily, they were okay with that.
Wow.
And it was back in 1986. And they dropped me off.
They dropped you off? Did they drive you there, or did you actually catch a flight?
We flew there, and then they sent all my things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was the lovely Kim there? Or no?
No.
Of course the lovely Kim would be. She's thinking of just my room. I get a bigger room now. Let's get my sister out of here.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think she came with us. I don't recall. I think she only came maybe twice to visit me once, and then for my graduation.
Wow, so, that's it?
I don't think she was really New York City.
What are sisters for? So let me know. So try to explain some of the culture in New York City. I know I've been there once, but it's nowhere near what you lived there. So what's the culture and what are the people like?
Well, I liked it because it was very diverse, I guess you could say, and different cultures and different types of people. And I just remember walking down the street and almost having to wear blinders not to look at everyone. And, you're kind of in that mode, don't look at homeless people or, and I used to feel sorry for a lot of the people and would give them money and then a friend told me don't do that because they'll probably
so they're beggars.
Yeah, they'll probably use it to fund.
Not for what they need. Yeah.
Not for food or to help them. So I would, give to different charities instead. And I to this day, I still do that.
Yeah, well, good. Because I remember visiting the lovely Kim, your sister, at Pitt. Mm-hmm. And I'll gladly give you money for a meal. Right. But I don't want to give you money for, a drink, we'll say. But so I'm sure you've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, I did. But, I had really some fun times there. I lived there for 7 years and lived all over Manhattan, Midtown, Upper West Side, Upper East Side, Gramercy Park, and Chelsea. I was trying to remember all the places
really?
In my 7 years.
Oh, wow.
But it was fun. I really thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to actually go there and to live my dream. And
absolutely. You had a good support system.
I did.
They supported you. Yeah. Nobody ever said you shouldn't do that. They always supported you and let you go out on your own. Right. From my understanding, I know they did that. So that was good. So when you moved there, you stayed in an apartment while you went to school, or did you stay in a dorm, or what did they?
No, I stayed right there on campus. They only had 2 dorms, and one was unisex and then one was just all girls.
Oh, okay.
I think they were girls.
Well, hey, it's New York.
Yeah. I remember my dad making the comment. My mom told me this years later that after they dropped me off, I guess he saw someone on the street and he didn't know, but
what sex they were?
Yeah. Back then.
Yeah.
And he or she had green hair and piercings, and he said, I just hope Kris doesn't come home looking like that when she comes home for Thanksgiving. But I was oh. But it was a great experience. And I would like to say if Sophia, my daughter, would want to go there someday, I'd let her go. But I don't know. It's a different world.
Well, the kids today have green hair, red hair.
Yeah.
So, things haven't really changed.
Yeah.
Maybe New York went to Pittsburgh, but
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons I decided to move back, because I felt like I wasn't really missing anything in Pittsburgh,
Because you could still see the same thing here as in New York.
Right.
I mean, the city's not as big, though.
Right. And I think I like that better. People are friendlier here and more patient.
Oh, yeah. Now, one thing that always fascinated me about New York, and I think you were living there at the time, was 9/11. It touched a lot of people here, and we lived in Pittsburgh. We lived in Western Pennsylvania. So I know it had to touch a lot of your lives that lived there.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that, where you were, how you heard, and what actually happened.
Well, I wasn't actually there 2001
okay.
for the World Trade Center bombing, but I was there in 93. And a lot of people don't remember that. That was the first bombing.
Okay.
And it was actually I believe it was the subway system in the World Trade Center.
Okay.
And there were several people that were killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was working at the time close to the Empire State Building, I remember. But
wow.
I was living on the Upper East Side. And when it happened, it was a pretty scary situation. You really couldn't... everything pretty much shut down.
Yeah.
So I would I didn't take the subway, I took the bus, and I had to walk all the way home that day. And
do you remember what day of the week it was? So
no,
you were
I
working?
don't. Yeah, I was working. And I remember some of my coworkers and we were all saying, what should we do? And we said, well, if this is our last day to live, why not go to the bar and just...
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what we ended up doing.
No.
Yeah, I think it really didn't hit us, really what happened.
Yeah.
But it was pretty scary then. And really, Mark, that was one of the reasons I decided to leave.
Really?
Come back to Pittsburgh because it was enough of a
it's
frightening
chilling.
experience.
Oh, it's definitely chilling for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, I do remember seeing that on the news, but back here, watching it on TV, hearing it on the radio, seeing it on TV is just totally different than being there, living it, seeing the people in around there. It's just that's incredible.
But the first tower that was hit, I think that was the one that had the restaurant on the top, Windows on the World.
Oh, it was?
It was a revolving restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And that had a lot of meaning to me because my parents took me there for my graduation dinner.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I did not know
and
that.
the lovely Kim was there. That's
Oh,
when
really?
she came up the second
Oh,
time.
jeez.
So,
wow.
that was really
my.
heartbreaking because
So you watched it on TV, and I mean,
Yes.
you still have ties there. I mean, you know people there, you work there, so when you watched it on TV, you basically lived it.
Yes,
Yeah,
but luckily, none of my friends or people I knew were affected directly. Affected,
right, but that hit close to home. Yeah, I could understand.
Right.
Yeah, you being there, that definitely hit closer to home than a lot of people that live back here.
Right.
But wow, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I'm sure you went through in New York, other than bombing, but like taxi rides and just getting around on subways and buses and on foot. I mean, talk a little bit about that. I mean, how much fun was that stuff?
Oh, I remember the first time I took a cab ride with my friends. We were going out for the evening, and we were all young and naive, and we didn't know that you're really supposed to tip
Oh,
the driver. So I don't know what the fare was, but we only went several blocks, and I think it was like $14. So we're like, oh my God, $14, we're trying to scrape up. So we had enough money to pay, and then we had to have enough money to get into the club that we were going to, of course. So we said, here, we gave it to the cab driver, and he said, what the, in his, I don't know, his foreign language, I don't know. And he got so upset with us, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to give him a tip. So we're like scraping up our change, and we were like, I said, here you go, we're so sorry, that's all we have. And he I don't need your change, and he threw it at us.
Really?
And we like, whoa, okay. So
wow.
we kind of, peed him off.
Yeah.
Him off. But yeah, we learned, okay, we have to have enough money for the fare and the tip.
Wow, well, that's a lesson learned.
Yeah. But I just remember every time I came home and then I came back to New York, that drive or that taxi ride back to my dorm or my apartment, my heart was always felt like it was in my stomach.
Oh, I could believe it. Yeah.
I was like, here we go again, back to the jungle. I always had the
Yeah.
crazy driver. So
Oh, really? Yeah.
I didn't speak English. So
Yeah, I think
was
that's
fun.
funny. I mean, you had the anxiety of going back. I mean,
Yeah.
you left. What's funny, I think what's funny is, you left a pretty peaceful home in celebration or whatever holiday it was
Right.
here. And you're going back to New York and you're thinking about, oh, I got to go to work. I got this to do. Plus, I got to worry about the cab driver taking me there. So you just had, you're just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, you could carry anything in your luggage. So
yeah.
my mom always gave me the leftover turkey,
Oh,
ham,
really?
or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that. Jeez, thanks, Jackie.
I
That
brought
was
that all
nice.
back. Like I couldn't get that in New York City. I had, so
Yeah.
that was great.
Well, that's good Mon Valley food for you.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
You
something
can
you
get
could.
that in New York City.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking on the lines of food and stuff like that,
Right.
can you talk about some places, special foods or something that you ate that you couldn't get around the area here in Pennsylvania? Is there anything that stands out? Is there like a certain coffee shop or deli? I watch Seinfeld. I watch a lot of
Right.
shows. Just curious to see if there's anything that sticks out with you.
I remember the Carnegie Deli. That was very popular.
And that was in Manhattan? Or?
Right, yeah. I can't remember exactly where it was located. And I think one of those delis that was, featured on Seinfeld, like one of those
Oh, really?
episodes. It was like that. Like you
yeah.
had to know exactly what you wanted to order. They were very impatient.
Like the soup Nazi.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
come on.
Exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
it was like that. And I think I took my parents there and they were just like, what is this? It's like crazy. Like if you didn't know exactly, or if you wanted to, maybe you didn't want mayo on your
Yeah.
sandwich or you wanted something different. No, we don't make it that way. This is the way, that's the only way we can make it.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, this isn't Monessen High School cafeteria.
No. But, yeah, I remember, my husband, Scott, we went back in 96, I think, before we were married. And I took him to a family style Italian restaurant
Yeah.
right in Little Italy.
Oh, wow.
And we had the best time because it was really like family style where they
Oh,
just
they
brought
serve
out-
big bowls and then you share
and
bowls?
you just ate so much food.
Oh,
They
nice,
just kept bringing
nice.
and the wine just
Really?
like. And now they have restaurants like that here.
Yeah.
The Buca de Pepe or
Yeah,
something like
Buca-
that.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
that. But I remember Scott really liked that. I know we had to wait a little bit to get in to the
Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah,
but
that's
once
New
we got
York.
in, we ate. It was like you were like family, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's good
So,
to know.
It was fun.
Good. I know we're trying to plan a trip, the lovely Kim and Logan. We're trying to plan a trip to New York in case
Really?
Logan does get something out there. So I think we're going to do something this summer.
Okay.
And within the next few months, as a matter of fact. And, we want to stay in Manhattan. We want to go see the Statue of Liberty. We want to go see like Rockefeller Center. We want to go see some of the TV studios that they
Right.
do stuff because
Yeah.
Logan may at some point work for them or maybe work remotely for them or something. So I thought it would be good for us to go see them. So when you went with Scott, did you drive there or fly there?
No, we flew in, and I still had several friends still living there. So I
okay.
think we stayed with them.
So would you fly into LaGuardia and then you'd get a cab over? I know you couldn't Uber back then, right?
No,
Ubers back then.
You were at the mercy of those taxi
Yeah.
drivers. Either LaGuardia or JFK, but usually
Okay.
LaGuardia. But I laughed when you brought up Statue of Liberty because when I lived at FIT, it seemed like all my friends from high school
Yeah.
came to visit me. And my sister came, the
Yeah.
lovely Kim. My sister-in-law came to visit me.
Oh, really?
And a couple friends from high school and college.
Yeah.
And every time they came, they wanted to see the Statue of Liberty. So I swear I've been there like maybe 10 times.
Really?
But we never went up inside. We only walked around it. No one ever wanted to go up
Is it in
inside
walking distance or do we have to catch a cab there? Or because that's part of Ellis Island, right?
No,
No?
it's actually down like down by like Wall Street. You have to take.
Oh,
We would
really?
take the subway like to the very final end stop.
Yeah.
But you'll probably take a cab. I don't know if you want to take.
Did you see the Bull at Wall Street?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I hear that's pretty popular. Yeah, everybody likes the Bull. Now, my understanding is the only way you can get into Wall Street is you have to have a real legit license to be a stockbroker to get in there. Yeah, so you can't get in there. So I don't know if you ever went into that, but from the research that I did, maybe back then, maybe back then you were able to. I mean,
or maybe things have changed because of security and everything.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, but it's a lot of interesting stuff. So some of the things that we're planning on doing is not only that, but like Times Square. I mean, you got to see Times Square, right? I mean, come on, you got to see the ball. Even though the ball doesn't drop until New Year's Eve, the ball's up there. Yeah. You can see it. So you definitely got to see some of that.
Right.
You
I think one year I actually was in New York City for New Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
And my friends and I were like, we're gonna go. We're gonna do it this year. We're gonna go up there. And we had a few drinks, and then next thing I knew, let's just stay in and watch it on TV. It's too cold, and by the time we get up there, we won't be able to see anything anyway.
I know exactly where you're coming from. I would go with the lovely Kim when she went to the University of Pittsburgh for college. And she's like, oh, I got free student tickets to go to the Pitt game. I'm like, oh, great, I'm in. We get there, we start drinking, we start eating, and all of a sudden, now you know what, we're good. We'll watch it on TV.
Right. I think we only went to one game. I remember going to.
Oh yeah.
We go to Foster House and.
Yeah, well, Peter's Pub. We go to Peter's Pub. Yeah.
I don't think they're. Did they close that too? I think.
I think Peter's Pub is closed. I think the Sanctuary is closed. Elvis is closed. It's a whole new. It's a whole new regime there.
Yeah.
Of course, the O is still there in Pitt.
Right.
You can't beat the O.
Yeah.
But so, do you have any future plans? You think to go back to New York, to go back to the scene of the crime where everything happened when you grew up?
Yeah.
Grew up, but.
Yeah, 7 years. I lived there for 7 years.
Wow.
Then I got 7-year itch. I said, no, I'm
really?
come back. Yeah.
Oh.
My sister-in-law is actually there right now with her daughter.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So, I would love to go back. In fact, I think Sophia, if she continues to stay in the band, one of their trips is to New York City.
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
We're like, well, we don't go ourselves.
Thanksgiving Day Parade? Yeah. Oh, that's my favorite. We all know that.
I had a friend actually that worked at Macy's, and she was in the parade one year, and she was one of the... holding the balloon, like the string.
Oh,
she
really?
was dressed up as a scary clown.
Now, do you still watch that or no? Do you not like?
Yeah,
because it's always big in my family.
Right.
Although,
we watch.
Growing up, I watched it. In my family now, not so much. No. The lovely Kim and Logan doesn't really. I enjoy it, but they don't. I maybe because I've never really been there.
Yeah.
To see it, but I just think it's pretty epic to see all those like landmarks and buildings and stuff that's so famous that you could see it on TV for free. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gets me. I kind of like it. But
Tell me get with it.
Lot to see. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. But there's a lot of places, and we were talking earlier about places that you ate and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And just want to touch on something quickly. There was something that I've heard about at the Hard Rock Cafe. I'm not sure what actually happened there, but I hear that you wanted to talk about something like that. So.
Well, I guess it was another popular place that whenever friends came or family came to visit, we have to do the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, of course.
And they didn't have the best food there, but I guess I think it was one of the first ones around.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
Nice. Before they went franchise.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, Statue of Liberty, Hard Rock Cafe, one Broadway show. So, yes, the one time my sister came up to visit, we went to Hard Rock Cafe for dinner. And we were finishing dinner, and this guy came over and said... the waitress that came over, and she said, this gentleman wants to pay for your meal. And we were just like, what? And my sister was like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, this happens all the time.
I'm famous.
But no, it didn't. And then the guy came over and just said, yep, dinner's on me. And I was like, okay, like what else is going to happen? And he just walked out. And that was...
Wow.
It was a nice gesture, and it didn't go any further, and that was...
Oh, hey, two lookers at a table eating dinner, why wouldn't you want to buy their meal?
And back then, we were like, wow, thanks, because that was pretty expensive,
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about that. I mean, what were some of the prices? I mean, I always hear stuff about coffee and donuts and like brunch and stuff. So can you touch on some of the costs, different places you went? Like I know you went with your mom and dad to like Tavern on the Green.
Yeah,
something like that.
They're probably like, well, we got to take out a loan to go visit Kris. Yeah, we did Tavern on the Green, and I'm just trying to remember. But I guess I was making a decent salary for back then, but I just remember a studio apartment was over $2,000 a month.
Oh wow!
And that was like 30 years ago. So I can't imagine what it would cost there now.
Yeah.
But for many years I always had roommates until my last 2 years there, and I lived on the Upper East Side, and I was able to afford my own studio apartment, but it was like probably the size of your studio here, Mark.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was very tiny.
Yeah.
And I had like a screen separating my living room from my bedroom, and that was
wow. So was that further away from work, or?
It was. Yeah.
So you took what?
I took a bus. I took 2 buses, and I think I told you the funny story. The one morning I was running late as usual, and I was trying to catch the bus on the corner, so I had to walk like several blocks from my apartment, and I was in a hurry, and this guy was just sitting on a stoop, and he looked over at me and he goes, "Hey, lady," and I'm like, just leave me alone. I'm like trying to get my bus, I'm like trying to mind my own business. And he's like, lady. And here he wanted to tell me my skirt was hiked up in my pantyhose. And he was being nice. And I was just like, leave me alone, I'm like,
you're in a hurry,
trying to catch a bus. And I looked down, I'm like, oh, thanks. I was so embarrassed.
Oh, my goodness.
But that was one nice guy in New York City. Well, I guess maybe 2. Maybe he's the same guy that paid for her.
Yeah, it could be. Hey, it could be. But hey, New York City's not all that bad from what I understand. But but I've only seen it from far away. One of my favorite shows was Sex and the City.
Oh,
I mean, come on, Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
you got to talk about that. Was there anything? I don't know if you were a big Sex and the City fan. I was, because I'm back here looking there.
Right. Yeah, I did watch it.
Oh, good.
Remember, we all went to go see the movie.
Yeah, that was
a couple
fun.
Years ago.
That was fun. I mean, yeah.
I can't say my life was that glamorous, or that interesting.
There was no big for you.
I do love Cosmos still to this
day. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my favorite drink. Wow. I don't know. But I just remember like club hopping and waiting in line, and you had to really look really outlandish to get in.
Really?
So we would just really
dress.
Yeah. I mean, probably looking back, it didn't seem that crazy, but
it's New York. Nothing's really out of the ordinary. So.
Right, but the bigger the hair, and if you had combat boots on, and maybe you tried to look like Madonna.
Oh, really?
That look, yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're wearing
the
combat
lipstick.
boots, and you're wearing the you're looking like Madonna, who I just saw was 60 years old now.
Really? Oh,
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So time does fly by.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah. So that's good stuff.
But I wrote down. I thought we used to go to Studio 54, but I think that was a little before my time, and then it turned into the Palladium.
I've heard of that.
But
yeah,
that was very, very crazy, and we would see some celebrities there, and we also went to like CBGB. That was like the punk rock.
Oh, really?
Club, yeah.
Still there? Or...
I don't think. Limelight, that was another one.
Yeah.
I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't really remember. The one time I went there, it was just for like maybe 4 or 5 hours. I remember going to Radio City Music Hall, but not in it, but like taking pictures and stuff like that.
Right.
But so that's that was all interesting to me, seeing the bright lights and all that for the first time.
Yeah. I was going to say my first job, I think it was my second job, was right in that same building as Radio City Music Hall. Yeah. And I think that's where they filmed David Letterman's show.
Oh, is that right?
So they would film that earlier in the day. So like when I got out of work, I would see people, and I would think, I saw David Letterman a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of
crazy. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, did you go to any shows? Like, did you see any, show? You know how they have these shows live?
Yeah. I did. I was in the audience for Regis and Kathy Lee, Live
really?
with Regis and Kathy Lee, and I got to meet them.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like in the first or second row because I had a friend that worked for ABC.
Oh, the lovely News. Kim would be jealous about that.
Yes. But they were both very nice. Like during commercial breaks, they would come out and talk to the audience. And I think I bought Kathy Lee's book and she signed it for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. There's great memories like that.
Yeah, good.
Brush with greatness. You
Hey,
hear
why
about
not?
this story?
Why not? I mean, when you're in New York, you might as well find somebody to brush with.
I'm trying to think. Well, one company I worked with or for, we made clothing for different stores like Kmart and the Gap. And Kmart, sad that they're gone, but they had different celebrity clothing lines.
Yeah.
And one was Christy Brinkley had one.
Oh.
And I didn't meet her, but I saw her come in she would be like an advisor, like she would say what she liked, what she didn't. And she came in at the time with her boyfriend who was a race car driver. It was before Billy Joel.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
And unfortunately, I think he was killed in a race car
accident.
accident.
Know that.
Yeah, but they came in and they came in on a motorcycle and she took off her helmet and had that model look, you know. It was like, beautiful. Yeah. And Jacqueline Smith too.
Oh,
I actually got
love
to meet her.
one of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Natural beauty.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm trying to think. Who else? A couple like designers I met too. Oscar de la Renta.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I met him one time in an elevator, and I just
really?
went, Oscar, and he just looked at me like, "Hello."
Hello, yeah, just a normal
me.
guy.
Yes, it's me. Yeah, greatness. I did see JF Kennedy Jr. one time.
Really?
Yeah, down in like Wall Street area when he was working there, playing football.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was
Wow.
It was like look and don't touch, and just from afar, from a distance. So yeah. And
too bad you didn't have phones back then. I mean, can you imagine all the pictures, all the videos you could have had?
People probably won't believe me. You're probably sitting there like, she's making this all up. But yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because, we lived back then with, just stories, just like verbal stories you came back and tell.
Right.
Unless you had a camera with you.
Right.
And who always had a Polaroid or a camera where you had to go develop film?
Right.
But nowadays people go out and they're like, they'll snap a picture and, post it to Facebook or post it to Instagram or something like that. Yeah, so times have definitely changed.
Yeah. I just remember, like my mom would worry about me and I think back, wow, that was really not, that was not nice of me to, like she would call and leave me messages on my answering machine.
Yeah.
Because she was worried about me and I was thinking back like, I'm fine, Mom, why you keep calling me? And I was like, that was terrible that I did that to her, but that was the only... Yeah, no cell phone or, you couldn't text or email. Or...
For the folks listening on the air, if they don't know what a voicemail or an answering machine is, it's an actual big computer that you would hook up to your phone. Right. You'd actually have to record your voice and say, hi, I'm not here. Leave me a message. Then you couldn't retrieve that until you got home. Right. So, I think that was funny. But I'm sure the good doctor and Jackie... they're always worried about you, but, they were back here living their own life. I mean, they had very prestigious jobs. They were doing stuff back here.
Right.
So, but no, I think it worked out good. I mean, we always heard stories. And I can remember just going on family vacations with the Wilkinsons. We're always like planning. You probably had no idea about it, but we're planning about it. And we're like, well, we have to go get Kris at this subway. We have to go get Kris over at this airport. Well, we're meeting Kris at this bus line here, all that the lovely Kim and I and maybe the kids when they were little were worried about, like, what time are we getting to the beach, but then you would come in, sometimes it was 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, you'd come in and we're half sleeping and we're like, oh, yay, Kris is here.
Aw.
Do you remember those times?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think one time I took a bus in and then the other time was a train. And I think my mom and dad had to drive me to Wilmington, Delaware to get the train back.
Oh, really? You mean after the vacation?
Right.
Oh, wow.
And I remember we just got there in time and the train pulled up and my dad's like, "Gotta get on, Kris, get on, get on." And my mom's like, "Is that the right train?" And he's like, "I don't know, just get on, get on." I got on, the doors closed, and there I went off.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, so
Luckily
much uncertainty
it was.
going on. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
uncertainty going on. Wow. So how many hours, so you, when you worked in New York City, was it a usual 9 to 5, or did they have different hours? Because I watch movies now, for instance, The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
and they're just yelling and just ordering people around and saying, "This isn't right, get back and do it again." Was it anything like that in your department or where you worked?
I think it was mainly 9 to 5. But sometimes I would stay late by myself, and I think that wasn't too smart, to be there all alone. And
right, then you have to take the late bus back or something.
Yeah. So I did. Young and foolish, and kind of naive.
Yeah, that'll happen.
But luckily, I think God and my guardian angel was always there on my shoulder.
Yeah, good.
Because nothing ever happened.
Yeah, good. Well, you always have to say, a silent prayer to get you through. Definitely, definitely. Even nowadays, with everything going on. But no, that was good stuff. Yeah. So anything else interesting happening in the world of New York City, or something that brings to light, or you're pretty settled where you're at now with your at work? I know it's no New York City, but any songs that you like there to bring special memories? I know we always think that the New York song that comes on, your mom and dad love, that always dragged me out to the dance floor to dance to your song.
Yeah, that brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking about, you were talking about the beach, and I used to think I was so close to the beach when I lived there. I was. If you had a car, you could get to the beach within a half hour, an hour. But if you didn't have a car, like I didn't, you'd have to take the subway and then take a bus. And we would go to Long Island.
Long Island Beach?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Long Beach.
What was it?
Island.
Oh, Long Beach.
Yeah, and that was fun. But I remember, I was thinking about it today when I was trying to think of some things that happened. And a friend of mine went there in early May. It was a beautiful day, and we went. And the sun was shining, but it was a little bit windy. And I'm very fair. Yeah. And I burn easily. And foolish, we didn't put any sunscreen on.
Oh, yeah.
And we stayed there, I don't know how many hours. So she and I took the subway, a bus back, and then the subway, and then we parted. And because she lived on one side of the city, I lived on the other. Oh, okay. So I was waiting for my train to come, the subway, and I looked down and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm red. I'm all red." Oh no. And all of a sudden I was getting on the subway and I hear this guy say to me out loud, very loud, "Lady, you look like a lobster." And it echoed, "Lobster, lobster, lobster." I'm like, "Ah!"
Oh my
so
God.
Embarrassed.
You couldn't tell until you got into an enclosed place.
I know.
What it looked like.
Down below in the dungeon kind of. I looked down. I'm like, "Oh." Yeah, and I was, pretty sick.
You probably had to put something on it or go to the store to get something.
And I lived in a small studio apartment with two other girls, and I slept up in the loft, so I had to climb up in the loft, and I just stayed there.
Well, did you have any food at the plate? Did you have any sunscreen, or did you have any aloe vera gel to put on?
Oh. No, in fact, it was so bad. I had to call home. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, my mom had to call our family doctor, and he said, "Take Benadryl." And so I don't remember what happened to my roommates. They kind of disappeared.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Yeah, you're on your own, lobster. Oh, wow. Well,
I'm telling all these stories. You're probably I've heard this one a million times, Kris.
Oh, they're all good. They're all good. They're all really good. Well.
Yeah, I think I decided I just could not make ends meet. It just got so expensive that.
Yeah, I can't blame you there. Yeah. Look, let's just say you're still there now. Where would you really be? Would you still be at the same job? Are they even still there? Was it Hart, Schaffner, and Marks?
Yeah.
Or was that one of them? That was one of the jobs.
Memory, yeah. Men's Suiting. I think they're still there. But the company that I did work for, they could not compete with the Orient over China.
Oh, yeah.
And they had some plants here in the United States. But, I think they went out of business.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. Look, China took a lot of our steel from the
Right.
still business. So
Right.
a lot of the stuff went overseas, just like, the tailoring and the,
Yeah.
the products that you were selling and stuff like that. But I always remember that you would come home, or the lovely Kim would tell me you'd come home with like a bag of clothes and go, "Hey guys, look, these were samples. Try this
Samples,
on and see
yeah.
if you like it."
I think my mom says she still has a robe that I'm like, you still have that?
I believe
love
it.
This robe.
Look, we're in their house now. I believe they still have it.
Yeah, I worked for a company called Lane Bryant, which was owned by like the Limited.
Yeah, I remember them in the malls. around
Yeah,
here.
yeah, and we would actually go out and buy things, and they would knock them off. It was called. They would copy them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like knockoffs, basically.
Knockoffs,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's what it was called. And so all those samples, when they had them left over, they'd say, "Okay, if anyone wants them," and they were really nice
Yeah.
garments.
Yeah.
They were. So we
Hey.
living off the rack.
Why not? Why not? I mean, the lovely Kim makes me watch The Devil Wears Prada every time it's on, and
gosh.
she loves that movie.
Yeah.
So that makes me think of New York a lot. That makes me think I don't want to work in that that type of profession.
It was kind of cutthroat.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But we're glad to have you back in Pennsylvania now. See, so you get to branch out here in Pennsylvania and work out of your house.
Yes.
So, I mean, hey.
Yeah, I haven't made. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And I guess the other reason I moved back too, I was the single life. I was like in my late 20s and not meeting anyone, and I actually did the
Well, you couldn't do the dating app, but there was no dating app back then. So
No, I took an ad out in
you
the
did?
city paper. Yeah, it was
Oh.
like that pina colada song.
Oh, really?
What was that called? Oh my gosh!
Wow,
Yeah,
I
and
did not know that.
Yeah,
Good.
and I met someone, and
Good.
pretty scary.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. A lot of scary people out there, not just in New York either.
No. But I had a friend that convinced me, yeah, you have to place an ad in the paper. And
Yeah.
like you said, if you have like a lot of young listeners, they won't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the dating.
No,
is
I
the
mean,
way to date.
yeah, I mean,
apps
nowadays,
Yeah.
they stay home and look for dates. I mean,
Right.
there's no, they always say, "Oh, I met him the old-fashioned way." There is no more old-fashioned way anymore. The old-fashioned way is sitting on your couch and just like texting someone or like putting yourself out there on a dating site.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
I forgot about that.
yeah, but I'm sure everyone's glad you're back in Pennsylvania. It worked out. I mean, you
It
got a
did.
great family. I mean,
Thank
you wouldn't
you.
trade it for
Yeah.
anything. I mean,
No. It was a fun time experience, but I wouldn't
Absolutely.
trade it for anything now.
Absolutely.
I love
That's
where
what
I
I
am,
thought.
and
That's what
thank
I thought.
you.
Any other memories that you could think of?
Wow, since you asked, Mark. I remember, I forgot to mention in 1986 when my parents dropped me off in New York City, it was, I think, I don't know how many times the New York Mets won the World Series. Not too many times, maybe 3 or 4
You can
times.
count on one hand.
Yeah. They won the World Series that year,
Yeah.
and I actually got to see the victory parade or
yeah,
celebration
yeah.
parade from my dorm room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I always remember that.
Oh,
That was
wow.
fun.
Nice. Yeah. Did you have binoculars or anything, or did you just watch it? I
can't-
would definitely have binoculars.
Yeah, I think I was like on the 7th or 8th floor, and I really had a bird's eye view of the parade, but I didn't change. I was still a Pirate fan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, hey. A lot of Western Pennsylvania people. I mean, you could take them out of Pennsylvania, but you can't take
No,
Pennsylvania out of
never.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely for sure. But that was a sight to see. Was there a lot of confetti? Because I'm
There
picturing
was,
confetti, like
yeah.
when the Yankees won, now the Mets won, and all that.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
but
that's crazy.
I was thinking back, why didn't I just go down on the street, And then I was like, no, I could see everything from
Yeah.
here. I had my window open, I could hear everything,
Yeah.
so I was safe in my
For sure.
my
Were you
dorm
by
room.
yourself then, or did you have a room?
Yeah, I went for like several weeks without a roommate. And I was just getting used to the place to myself, and
Nice.
then she bebopped in, my roommate.
Oh.
But we're still friends to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. So you
we're
still
good
keep in
friends.
touch with some of
Yeah.
the friends. Well, that's good. I think that's good. Well, it makes it a little bit easier now with phones and texting and
Facebook.
Yeah. Social media. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, that's huge now. That's huge. I mean, it could be good and bad, but if you use it in the right way, it could be good. I think. So,
Yeah,
that's
I keep
good.
in touch with a lot of my friends.
Yeah,
nowadays.
definitely. So, Well, thanks, Kris, for coming on the show and telling us all those interesting facts of New York. I mean, come on, where else am I going to hear this stuff from you? You might as well get it from a person that lived right there in New York City.
Thank you, Mark. It was fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for joining. Well, that about wraps it up for Right on the Mark with your host, Mark Young. See you next time, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the bell. Take care.